What's happening, party people? Happy Motivate Monday. This is your daily morning motivational message because motivation is something we got to do every day for it to have any kind of effect. Consistency, routines, habits. We are the sum total of those things. And if we make it a habit, a part of our routine to engage in daily personal motivation and uplifting messaging and good energy, that's going to show up in your life in ways that you didn't even expect. So I appreciate you all tuning in, being consistent, staying plugged in. And I'm excited to talk to you about today's topic because it's got me on, I'm on one for this. Let me ask you a question. What is your identity? Because you cannot change what you don't acknowledge, first off. And if you don't know what your identity is, then you have virtually no chance of creating a new one. And a lot of times people, they aspire to certain things. They want certain things. Well, want shows up in conversation. Expectation shows up in behavior. I'll say it again. Want shows up in conversation. Expectation shows up in behavior. And your expectation has to be in alignment with your identity because you will not have the behavior unless your identity is secured. And that happens this happens quickly. It's not easy. I heard this young lady tell a story. It really blew me away. And her story was from bartender to businesswoman. From bartender to businesswoman. And she talked about having her identity solidified in the service, the food and service industry, because that's all she knew. That's where she had worked more than any place else. 18 years that's what she did. And she was so entrenched in that identity, even though she knew she could never make the type of income that she was worth, even though she knew there's no more climbing in terms of her position, like she had tapped out. And it's just a grind. It doesn't change. But she had allowed herself to adopt that as her full-time identity. And so when she actually had enough courage to step outside of that identity and begin to develop a business and build a business, even though it was way outside of her comfort zone, way outside of the familiar, and she had to learn these new skills. And as she's doing it, one of her mentors was like, you're doing pretty good. Like, you're making $5,000 a month. Five or 6,000, whatever it was. And, you could like, if you really get serious with this, why don't you go all the way in? Like, go full time. Like, let's burn the boats, because you've proven that you know how to do it. You've been consistently earning 5,000, 6,000 a month. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you waiting on? And she didn't want to have the conversation. Like, she's like, I don't want to talk about this right now. Why not? I just don't want to talk about it right now. So the mentor was like, listen, sit down, please. Just sit down. We're not getting up from this table until we answer my question. I don't care how long it takes. 90 minutes later, she has completely broken down, just bawling, because she realized the reason she got so defensive and she didn't want to talk about it was because she hadn't worked through her issues. She hadn't addressed the fact that her identity was tied to being in the food and service industry. A server, a bartender. She hadn't recognized that it had a hold on her, and she was being shackled by it, and it made her, like, physically and energetically uncomfortable to confront that. And when she actually looked at it, because her mentor was like, we're not getting up from this table until we address it, she broke down. And that breakdown led to a breakthrough. The breakdown led to a breakthrough. Fast forward, she's now earning over $400,000 a year. That's not even like earning on her best year. She was earning not even a fourth, barely a fourth of that on her best year, working, 50, 60 hours a week and no level of repeat income in sight, none. But because someone pressed her on her hesitation, on her avoiding taking the full plunge, going all in, if you will. See, there are some things that you have inside of you that you really want, but you haven't gone all in on it. You're hedging your bets. You're waiting. Hesitation breeds roadkill, ladies and gentlemen. Hesitation breeds roadkill. You have to be willing to become someone that you've never been in order to produce results that you never have. And you get the opportunity to reinvent and recreate your life whenever you want. You could be brand new today. It's very simple. Just make the decision and then let your actions support the decision. What is your identity? What part of that identity is tripping you up, is keeping you stuck, is allowing and empowering you to play small? In order to release the current identity, you got to first identify, know what it is. Once you know what it is, and you can make some better decisions about how you want to move forward and have the boldness to take on a new identity. You can come in one way and leave a totally different person. You guys have heard these stories all the time. Somebody loses a parent. And the moment that happens, they become a totally different person. And I'm going to use a positive example. They have a sense of freedom, a sense of duty and responsibility to live up to the best of what was given them. They have a sense of true adulthood, because sometimes, if you're close to your parents, they're always going to be your parents. And then when they're gone, something happens internally. I've seen it. A new identity is emerging in that moment, like boom, like that. Leave a job and decide that you want to embark on a new career, new identity. You leave a relationship and decide that you're going to embark on a new part of your journey. Well, that's a new identity because now you're not in the relationship anymore. You're on your own. That's a new identity. It happens like that. And then your actions and your thought process is now in alignment with a new life, a new identity. You make the decision to take the plunge and go out here and get what you're worth in the market. That's a new identity. Are you willing to look in the mirror and ask yourself some difficult questions? Who am I? And is who I am serving my greatest good, my greatest capacity? The dream life that I aspire to, is who I am going to get me there? Because a lot of times it's not. Like whatever got you here is not going to get you there. And if you're not willing to stretch up here and expand up here, you ain't never going to get there. You're going to have wishes. You're going to have wants, but you're not going to have results. What's your identity? Who do you want to be? If you got some value, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and share this with some people that you love and care about, because it's a blessing to be a blessing. Happy Motivate Monday.